Hi everyone, this is Opsy and you're welcome to Locks and Chronicles. Hope you're all doing well. If it's your first time, you're very welcome on this channel. I talk social work. Um, I sometimes, as the channel implies, showcase my locks. I love my locks very much. And also about life in the UK. I'm an immigrant in the United Kingdom, originally from Nigeria. When I talk social work, I'm mostly talking social work in the context of England because I live in England. So you're welcome if it's your first time. And if you are an oldie, cheers. Nice to see you again. Today's video has been highly requested, and it's been a long time coming, and it's about likely questions for your NHS Band 6 interview. Yes, and answers. So when I'm saying likely questions, I could only share the questions that I was asked. So I've had two NHS interviews, Band 6 interviews. I suppose this will also be appropriate for Band 5s because if you can ace the Band 6, then you definitely can ace the Band 5 questions. So I've had two interviews. For this video not to be too long, I will cover what I can in this video because I want to give you also tips and how I answered some of those questions. And if I say that this video is going to be too long, I will do another video where I will talk more about this. So don't worry, you might want to get a pen and a paper or just rewatch as many times as you need to. First of all, remember, if you do get an interview, you've done something really good. It means your application was good. And as I always say, as I've said before in my old video where I talked about my very first job interview, questions and answers. Go back to it if you haven't watched it. And where I talked about the application process, you need to read your job description and person specification inside out. You need to be confident that you know what you are going for. So that is the first step. So now I'm just going to be sharing with you very quickly because you see, I usually write them down when I come out of the interviews, and I have shared this with a lot of other people that have been able to get, the jobs. But bear in mind that where you're going for your own job, the questions might be different. Yes, most likely they will be, but it's just to give you an idea of how to prepare. So the first question here is, we've read your application. Tell us about what you do now or what you've done in your previous job that is relevant for this job, for this role. So here, don't get distracted. In fact, this question you should have prepared for before going in. You should have linked whatever you've done in your past, even if you've never had a job before and it's just been maybe school, it's been uni. Just draw out those modules, those relevant placement experiences, and things that relate in particular to the job that you're going for. So don't get distracted. Don't go too much around the bush. I don't think this question is like a pass or fail question, but you need to be focused and you just need to link it. So for example, when I went for the NHS job and I was asked this question, what I spoke about my most recent job, which was my job with the local authority, how it was in mental health, and how my experience in that is very related to this. I also quickly spoke about the things I've done in the past, like I went to uni to study social work, and we did modules on mental health, so I do have a good knowledge of mental health legislation. I spoke about my previous jobs as well, even when I was a healthcare assistant, how that experience has given me confidence to be able to practice in mental health so that I am not can I say that I have gained resilience in working with patients with mental health difficulties. So yes, just in a brief way, just answer that question so that you can move on to the next question. So the next question here is, tell us some peculiarities of working with older adults. So this question nearly threw me, but I had to pause because I didn't want to just focus on like the, shall I say, the difficulties I wanted to also focus on the the good things, the positives. So yeah, so that don't fall into that uh trap of thinking that when they say peculiarities of working with older adults, this is just talking about the difficulties. But also, the job that I was going for was not particularly related to just older adults. I think this particular question that I read out was for my job when I worked in the crisis team, that's the Access Hub and Home Treatment team. So they wanted to be sure that I could work with different, um, uh, different patients, of different ages. So, how did I answer this question? I think, first of all, I smiled and I did say that, sorry to sound so cheesy, but I found working with older adults, very interesting. And when I'm doing my interviews, I try to relax. It's just like a conversation. I'm not that, I don't present, I mean, I'm not rude or slouching, but I'm confident and I'm relaxed and I'm answering the questions as calmly as I can. And I said, as I smiled and I said, this is the truth though. I do find working with older adults very interesting. I think there is a lot to learn from them. I think the most important thing to know is that you listen. You have to listen to them because they've got a wealth of experience and they know what support they would like you to offer them and how they would like you to work with them. So you have to listen. You have to be ready to work with them, work alongside them. Bear in mind that you're not working for them or doing things for them, but you're putting them at the center of the care planning and the job that you're doing for them. And then I said, working with older adults doesn't come without, some difficulties because older adults are more or could be more prone to some, physical health issues, physical health problems. Sometimes they're more prone to UTIs, that is urinary tract infection. I said that sometimes it could be that they could present with confusion, they could present with memory loss. Also, you might have to be dealing with family members who might have power of attorney, who might not even have power of attorney. You might have to be dealing with carers. You might have to be seeking these people's opinions as well, which might sometimes be contradictory to what the older adult might want. I said, but the most important thing is to make sure that whatever you're doing, that the older adult, as the patient, is put right at the center of the care planning and the work that you're doing with them. I think that was how I answered that question. I'll go to the next question. So, how do you involve a service user and how do you involve a service user in their care and support plan? And can you give us an instance where you involved a service user in the care and support plan? So this question, I said I have so many examples because I've always worked with people in a person-centered way. If you watched my old videos, you will know I've spoken about person-centered approach before. It's just when you work with each person according to their needs. Where you are taking into consideration that one size does not fit all, where you are putting that patient at that particular time and their needs and their wishes and their feelings at the center of the care planning, where you are asking them what they would actually like to achieve from the support that you want to offer them, where you're asking them how they would love to be supported, if there's anyone's opinion that they don't want you to take, if there's anyone's opinion they want you to take, if there is a power of attorney, obviously they've signed that to that person, so you definitely can listen to that person as long as there are no safeguarding concerns. So I said I'm always working in this way, and I think to give an example is to, I think for me, I would say, I can't remember the exact example I gave at that time, but this was about 2 years ago. So I would say a simple example would be, you could just like I put, just say for example, a patient that you met. You don't have to give details. When you first met them, they'd had bad experience about, social care or health, or the NHS or the local authority, and they felt that they were never listened to. They felt that they were being passed around from pillar to post. And when you met them, you reassured them that, the work that you will be doing with them, they are going to be at the center, they are going to be at the driving wheel. Obviously, I was sharing with them the constraints of funding and all of that, and things that the service is able to offer. But I was also reassuring them that their voice and their wishes will be, at the center of the support plan. And I said, we sat down, we drew the support plan together. I asked them the things that had worked for them in the past. I asked them what they feel will be helpful. Will it be therapy, counseling? Will it be medication? Do they feel they need a medical review? And I was able to put all of that in place for them because I had asked them. So I think the first thing is to always make sure that you ask and you seek people's opinions. And obviously, in the work that we do, not everybody will have that insight or the ability or even the capacity to be able to share with you, how they want you to support them. But obviously, this is why you also take into consideration the people around them, the people who love them, the people who care about them. So yes, I think that was how I would have answered that question if I was asked that question now. So the next question is, what does confidentiality mean to you? What does confidentiality mean to you? So I won't go into this in too much detail because I know a lot of you know what confidentiality is. If you're a social work student, you would have done a lot of this. You would have looked into the data protection laws and legislation. So but to answer this question, just to give you a tip of how to answer this question, you can talk about the law on this, you can talk about legislation on this very quickly, but they are asking you what it means to you. So I would say confidentiality to me means that when I meet a patient, that I am reassuring them and letting them know that what they share with me, I will not be sharing with any irrelevant party or with who does not need to know. However, this will be shared within my team, with the MDT, that is with other professionals that we're working together. For example, the doctor, for example, the psychologists, other nurses, my team managers. So I will let them know that this will be shared with other members of the team who are also working with me and who need to know. So I'll be reassuring them that I would not be sharing that information with people who do not need to know, especially if I've done, if I working in a person-centered way. I would have asked them if there's anyone they do not want me to share, their what they're letting me know their information with. So I would be reassuring them that no, I would not be sharing with that person, and I will make sure that I do put an alert so that if there's anybody like that, my team do not share, and I do not share with that person. So however, I will also let them know that in the information, that if the information they're sharing with me, if there's any safeguarding concern, or if there's any risk or anything that I need to raise, then I will need to break confidentiality, in that I might need to share this with the police, I might need to share this with emergency services, but this will only be on a need to know basis. So I will provide that reassurance to my patient, because this is what confidentiality means to me, whilst I'm working within the guidance set, to protect people's data and people's information. So I think for this video, this is where I am going to stop, because I'm running into 15 minutes. And I think next time we'll talk more about the other questions on diversity, on self-harm, on how to manage some challenges that we might face in this job. So I hope this has been helpful. I'm sorry I'm filming this in the car because I quickly came to drop my children off for swimming. And because I'm always putting things off, because I would say, okay, I'm going to do this video looking for place to see and looking to get everything sorted. it just ends up not being done. So I think I'm just gonna have to take this approach, because I know a lot of you have been asking me for this video. So I hope this is helpful. Make sure to subscribe, share this video, leave a comment, ask your questions, follow me on Instagram. You can DM me, but before you come and DM me questions about this video, make sure that you drop a comment here first. Now always remember that I really do love you. Bye.